What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? We're back with the morning after, and this morning after was a great one. I know the last one it was horrible, but this one, I mean, this is the second best one you can ask for. Second best one, yeah. I was gonna rank it 3, at least for my personal. It might be number 3. Number 2 would be Georgia.
Personal, what do you mean?
Number 2 would be Georgia. Number 1 would be A&M. You know, beat A&M, beat Georgia, beat OU. Like
Really? Over OU?
yeah, just because like we've had that before, you know.
I mean, you've had A&M before.
Well, but it's A&M.
Last year.
But it's A&M.
Yeah, that's fair.
It's
That's
A&M.
fair.
Georgia, on the other hand, cheating asses.
Yeah, we'll get to them soon.
I gotta
we'll
get them.
to them soon.
I need them. I was, I had, something prepared for this moment. It had to do with one of these, and then one of these, but I just wasn't prepared. But we're here, man. Red River was a blast. I finally got to attend. It's a sight to see for sure. It's something that y'all tell me like how great it is, but you just have to go to like experience like what it truly is. And I feel like even if you aren't a fan of college football, or I'm sorry, even if you aren't a fan of those respective teams, like the experience and the atmosphere is just something it's just unique. It's different, Their place gets packed really early. The game's at 2:30, and 8:30, 9 a.m. hits. The fair's full. Like everybody's there, and you just see like nothing but Sooner fans. You turn the corner, you see nothing but Texas fans, and it's just something that's just surreal and just dope to see. And everywhere you look, it's just like everyone's there for that. And once you just walk in that stadium and you just hear the chants of both teams, just OU sucks, Texas sucks, Boomer Sooner, hook 'em, Texas fight, like all that. Like once you just hear that all through the tunnel all at once, it's epic. And then once you just get out to the field, and every time somebody comes on from someone's team, you hear a bunch of cheering, and then you hear a bunch of boos. No matter who, it's the band, bro, and they're cheering and booing. Like it's crazy, man. It's quite the experience. I recommend it to anybody that just wants to go to a game of that caliber and that atmosphere, and obviously for Texas and OU fans to get out there and go as well. It's a sight to see, man. It's something just to take in and soak in. It's incredible, and I can see why they. I mean, I already was calling it this, but I can see already why they call it the greatest rivalry there is. Like I was telling you, I think last week, like Michigan at Ohio State at Michigan, like
Alabama, Auburn, you throw in there.
The away fans rarely get the opportunity to go there, Like those tickets are bought up by whatever school is there. Yes, there is like fans scattered throughout there and whatnot, but like the fact that you have the opportunity, like your fans have the opportunity to fill up half the stadium, and it's just a neutral site in the middle of both the programs. It's just, I don't know, man. There's nothing like it. It's dope, man. And it's just to be there and see it in person. Like you just see like the halves just come together. You see crimson, and then you see burnt orange, and it's crazy, man. It's nuts.
I'm glad you got to finally go, because I was trying to tell you,
but
like
I try to do as best just as I can explaining it, but it's
like I said, like I mean, even like this is my third year in a row, and unfortunately I've seen us lose the last two, but my first year we won off that crazy game, where it was a crazy game really the whole way throughout. Dylan Gabriel goes on a go-ahead drive, and we end up winning on a walk-off touchdown. And like just the chills you get like in those big plays during the game, the momentum shifts, like when a team does something and your team is on the receiving end, you just feel like super defeated. You hear the other side just so much louder. Y'all are kind of quiet, and then vice versa. The momentum just shifts so fast in that game. And there's truly nothing like it. Like when y'all are on offense and down our end, it's loud as hell. And then when we're on offense on y'all's end, it's loud as hell. And literally, like, hopefully, you come into the tradition. Hopefully, we make you an annual guy because I mean,
It's electric, man.
it's just so, it's so
It's
fun. Like you literally cannot describe it. Like I tried to tell you, and like you got to see it firsthand, and then like for the other people we know that have never been, like I'm just like I can't explain it, and it's different for us because we have a uh we're in the fight, right? Like you love Texas, I love Oklahoma, so it hits even more for us. And some of the things you would ask at the game, you were like, um, is it pretty cool? They're pretty cordial. Like for your experience, like it was cool for you to see, like even after we lost and even before the game, it was like there wasn't really any like bickering. There wasn't a lot of chirping. It was very like pretty, like we lost, we took it on the chin. You didn't really see anybody like getting into anything. And I know it's like in a rivalry like that, it's more so. I think that doesn't happen because everyone is there for the same purpose. I think if you invest tickets to go into that game, kind of what comes with it. And I think there's just a level of respect for both programs. Like both programs, as much as we hate each other, we do respect each other. Maybe not, some of these other fans, but for the most part, everyone respects how great each program is, how unique the setting is, and just having like the safe fare there. Like we were able to get there early, like drove through, East Dallas, got there early. Like even before we parked, it was already getting packed. And shout out to the Barretts. Like I know you didn't get to come in on Friday, but they just do it right. We like the fact that Cat's family's also down the middle, so you got a ton of OU and Texas fans. So like in case anything ever happened, like you're good because
yeah.
you're with a ton of people. Yeah, man, it was awesome. I'm as much as it sucked to lose, like I could take the L just because I know you got to win your first one. Like there's nothing like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I would probably hope that for everyone. They got to see like the first time they go. Obviously, like I don't want to see Texas lose, but so I guess I should start inviting Texas fans only. But to see like your very first one be a winner, it's like just the after feeling, like after you walk out the stadium,
Yeah,
is just like,
electric.
dude, we just won. Let's go.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you feel like the high of that is insane. Like you
yeah,
can't
you're on the
replicate
high
it.
for a
Like
minute.
yeah,
You're on
that's
the
how I
high
was the
for a
first
minute.
year, bro. And shout out to the Bears. Like they were kind of how I was. They with you this year. Like obviously disappointed and upset. Obviously the game was closer. I would have probably felt a lot better if we didn't play the way we did. But I was happy to see just like kind of how they were for me. And hey, like you go in it, you're gonna go in there, you're gonna whoop their ass. Sometimes you might get your ass whooped. It might be a close game. So the emotions are gonna be all over the place.
Yeah, but
All over the
speaking of
place.
ass whoopings and close games, I mean, we whooped y'all's ass in the second half. First half was a very close game. Really wasn't until actually kind of the whole second half. But
Really,
you
just the
know,
third quarter mainly because we were on the
I mean,
field
we
for
yeah
like 14 minutes.
yeah
Defense was,
yeah
yeah.
we took over the third quarter for sure. Um,
Mm-hmm.
but it was. I mean, I'm not gonna lie. I mean, I guess I don't know ball. I don't know if I said it on here. I know I've told you
I
like
mean,
individually,
you
but
talking about
I didn't think Texas was gonna win.
but
And
that's not that
but
wasn't a bad
a lot
take
of
though.
people didn't think Texas was gonna win, and
Yeah.
for Texas not winning is because I think we're a bad team. For me, it's our offensive line, and like the offensive line is such a big part of the team in any respective league. Because that's how you get your points on the board. If you can't get your offensive line going, like you're not gonna get any points on the board.
The
And
nucleus of everything.
in college football, especially, like everybody always says defenses wins championships, but college football is such a weird sport where like yes, defense does win championships, but like you still have to be able to put points on the board. Like your offense still has to be decent enough to put points on the board because not everybody on the field is an NFL athlete. Not everybody on the field is a first round draft pick. Not everybody on the field is going to get the chance to go experience the NFL, whether that's playing in the NFL or being on the practice squad. So like you have those kids who are going to make those mistakes in college. So that's why like defense does, but it doesn't win you championships. And with their offense and the way it's been, it's just been a lot of ups and downs, man. It's we put it together, we don't. And the big thing for me going into this game was staying ahead of the chains, not getting penalties. In the first half, there's one drive that sticks out to me particularly, whereas we get the ball right, 1st and 10, false start.
Yeah.
Oh
Yeah.
my god! All right, 1st and 15.
We get then we get TFL.
First,
Maybe.
no, 1st and 15. Offsides defense. All right, back to where we
Oh, yeah.
started. 1st and 10.
Yeah.
All right, 1st and 20. Like, dude, come on. We got a holding call. Like, it's just all our offensive line has just been like that, and it's kind of it seems like it's starting to catch its groove, but not, because like I just need to see a complete game out of them. Florida's second half phenomenal. OU second half phenomenal, but the first half is where we struggled in both. We're very fortunate for our defense to play the way they played and be able to keep us in the game, be able to be down 3 points going into half, 6-3, with the offense that y'all had and the way that y'all have looked. Every time you got the ball, you're like, all right, are they gonna score a touchdown here? At least I was thinking, all right, is this gonna be when they score the touchdown? Is this gonna be when they break it open? Is this
And
gonna
we weren't
be
moving the ball.
No, I was like, and even when y'all had short field, still held them to a field goal. Like that's perfect. That's phenomenal.
Yeah.
And then after we go into half 6-3, we come out, and I was in my head, I'm just like, okay, we have to score here, no matter what it is. We just have to get points. Care if it's a field goal, care if it's a touchdown, just get the points. And we drive down the field, and we get a field goal. And it's 6-6, right? Or did we score the touchdown? No, we got a field goal. Because it was 6-6. Then
it was 6-6. It was 6-6.
Then went to 13-6. And then 20-6. But we got a field goal, and I was like, all right, cool. I'm fine with that. Chill. And then, the game goes on, and we end up, getting away. But the reason I think we're able to get away is because our line was getting blocks, and we're able to establish a run game. And Trey Wisner just had a hot hand. Even when there wasn't stuff there at some place, he found something. He found a gap.
Yeah.
He wasn't going down on first point of contact. He fought for every yard he can get. Sometimes he was able to break one, and sometimes he wasn't. But he was able to get 2 yards, 1 yard, and not get hit behind and stay behind the chains. And that's what I really loved about our team this week is we just kept fighting. That's what I saw from our team this week. We fought. No matter what quarter it was, no matter what the score was, we fought to the end. And I think going forward, that's going to be how majority of our games are going to go, just because offensive line is just the link point of our team. As fortunate as it is to say, but with the progression they continue to make, obviously I wanted a full game, but if we can somehow turn that into a full game, not just the second half, I love our chances in any game we play in. I really do. But yeah, I mean that's kind of the main points for me. We just scored in the red zone. That was a big one. Defense played phenomenal. Defense played lights out. Mookie was flying everywhere. They had him at safety. They had him at linebacker. He was just kind of everywhere on the field, and he was making impacts. Colin Simmons played great. He got him, I think, 2 sacks in the game and like 3.5 tackles for losses. Malik coming back after an injury. He felt like he let his team down last week, and look what he did this game. He got 2 picks. I mean, that's in this game, like that is the stuff you get remembered by, and he got 2 of them.
This is probably his last year too, so I would say at Texas.
Controversial punt return, but regardless of it, Niblett he made his stamp on that game. So it was dope to see guys just make their stamps and make their impact on that game. So I mean, I was proud of the boys. I was proud of the team. We looked great. I know you have a lot more to say on your half because it just
Yeah, I'm gonna have to go get some water when you're done to get ready.
it just wasn't great, man. And I don't obviously Mateer hasn't practiced, but I thought he played well enough for y'all to still win the game. That's kind of my thing with that. I thought he still played not as in the point of like him turning the ball over. I meant more of like how he looked. Like he looked good enough.
Yeah, he
Like
was definitely healthy enough.
his
Yeah,
mechanics were good enough
like
for y'all to stay in.
physically
Yes,
healthy.
yeah,
Yeah,
stay in the game. So like, yes, he hasn't practiced, but like he still had the opportunity to do stuff. Um, and I mean, I just kind of want to give also a lot of credit to our defense with that. Just a lot of I mean, yes, open people happen all the time. Like we had people open that we didn't complete the ball to. But the rush was there. That was one thing I was surprised that y'all didn't have really was the pass rush like that. I thought, especially coming out of halftime, um, that was going to be more effective, but it wasn't. Um, but our pass rush was there. He got out of the pocket a lot. Every time he scrambled out, like there is somebody there, either like running after him, stepping up, filling the hole to rush him, and everything was just kind of blanketed downfield. So shout out to our defense, man. I mean, they played phenomenal, and then the boys got after it. But hey, man, it was a tough one for y'all. I know you were not the happiest with the way y'all played, and I'll let you get into it.
yeah. So this week, you would think that we're 1-5 or 2-3 based off of not only how Texas fans are parading it, but the national media, and then even like our own fan base is dooming. You know, Unfortunately, we didn't get the dub. I thought we were, to be honest, I thought we played I think this will be the worst game we'll play all year. I thought, the defense played well enough for us to win the game. I mean, they only gave up 16 points and they were really on the field a lot because of turnovers. And it's also hard in a game like that when you're playing so well defensively and then your offense is going out there and not scoring, capitalizing on short fields, and turning the ball over. I mean, y'all's offense is going to make plays. Y'all have the coaching, y'all have the players to make plays. So it's not like we can hold up forever. And even with us giving up, 16 points, we played well enough to win the game. Against you give up that against anybody, you should feel really good and really confident, especially against a good team like Texas. But it was unfortunate. Mateer looked really good in warmups. I mean, his arm is, for me, like seeing him first time in person, I was like, yeah, he's got a live arm. Like, it's hard to see on TV how really strong his arm is, but that dude has a strong ass arm and he can make every throw. And I have confidence he's going to make every throw. And we've seen him make it. We've seen him play well against Michigan. We saw him play well against Auburn when he broke his thumb. One, I want to give shout out to him. Dude's tough as nails to come back from a surgery like that and to play in that game. It shows a lot of who he is, how he wanted to represent his team. And honestly, too, I think how this game went, obviously he still has a lot of resume building games left on his schedule for the NFL draft. But I think how this game went, I think this one definitely not only stung for the program and him, but also mainly him, right? I think this will be something he'll remember no matter how well this season goes. And I think this could be a factor of maybe him returning next season. But, going into the game, man, I mean, we played really good up front, especially in the first half. We were pretty dominant. And, offense, we had guys open. I think we got to get out of for some of our issues in the run game. I think we got to get out of using two tight ends and having them block DNs and linebackers, especially the tight ends we have. We just don't have the personnel for them to be blocking these DNs and linebackers all the time. We need to spread people out because I do think the strength of our team is wide receiver, and we need to spread people out. I mean, Arbuckle had things schemed open all game. We had guys running open. So I'm not really, everybody's like, Arbuckle didn't call a game. I'm like, look, I think he called a good game. I mean, it can't help that we weren't executing. He can't help that the quarterback that's been in his offense for 3 years and has had, well over 15 starts at this point was missing things. And a lot of that, due to rest, not making any excuses how well Texas played, because I do think Texas did play well, especially on the line of scrimmage defensively. But I mean, that was really the telltale sign. I mean, even the interceptions, they were just bad throws. The first one was, he had Satania running open on a skinny post. He even had Kanik open. He just missed the ball. He just sailed. And even if and it really should have went to the other person on that route. The second pick, was towards the end of the first half.
It was the end because we got the ball and just nailed it.
Yeah, it was towards the end of the first half. We got 10 seconds left. We're in field goal range. I'm not mad at the play call and opportunity because NFL teams do this all the time, but you also got to know the situation as Mateer. Like, hey, if it's not open immediately, just throw it out of bounds. Where you got a good kicker, take the points. That, to me, when that happened, that's when I got really nervous because I was just like, in this game, you can't leave points on the board and you can't leave opportunities on the board. Going up 9-3 at halftime feels a lot better than 6-3. I know it's not a lot, but it's still, even with y'all scoring a touchdown, even with y'all scoring a touchdown where y'all, kicked the field goal and y'all scored, we'd have been down, 3 points. You're not having to press as much to get that equalizing touchdown later in the game. So I didn't like that. Deion Burks was open, but it looked like miscommunication. It looked like Mateer thought he was going to run to the opposite side near the pylon. And really Deion probably thought, hey, I'm open right now on this skinny post, like throw me the ball now. So I think that'll get cleaned up. I think they'll be fine in that aspect. And then the third pick, the ball was just late, but behind Satega, hit his hand, bounced off him, and was a tipped interception. So for me, when I'm looking at these interceptions, I'm like, look, a lot of this is fixable. It's not like yes, he has been turnover prone, but like those were just, I think once the turnover started happening, you're playing against a good defense. You're also in an environment that was like our first true like road environment. I know it's a neutral site, but we played against Temple early in the season. I mean, that wasn't a road environment, and we've been at home a lot. So I think with that, the lack of the mental reps, I think that just he kind of shelled up. And when he had guys open later in the second half, he didn't pull the trigger like we usually see him do. And commend to him. He didn't make any excuses. He said he was healthy. He just didn't play well. He didn't have his eyes right. And I do think he's going to bounce back. I do think this might have been a good game for him to have, just to kind of like light that spark, light that fire, not only for him and the team. I'm excited to see what they do this week. But yeah, man, I mean, we got to get the run game going. We're right now ranked 116th in carry, yards per carry, which is one of the worst in the Power 4.
116?
Yeah, but I think a lot of that is it's really just scheme and what we're teaching them. We're not firing off the ball as offensive line. We're kind of catching people. I don't know why we're doing that. So they need to have an honest conversation with Bill and just tell them to fire off the football. Like, you're going to get movement if you fire off the football. But the way we've been kind of like catching people, I don't understand that. Because in pass protection, we do really well. Like, that's actually something we excel in. Even against y'all, like, yeah, sacks happen, but a lot of those I think was because Mateer just wasn't trusting his eyes, wasn't throwing the ball right away. But we had pretty clean pockets for the most part, especially against y'all. Like, I can't ask for much better pockets than that against the pass rushers you guys have. And outside of that, you guys did well. We had a blown coverage on that touchdown to DeAndre Moore. Kendall Dobie just let the guy cross his face. This is a veteran guy who's been on the team for 3 years now. And I know he's been hurt and kind of banged up, but that just can't happen, not in that moment. And, you can't make mistakes. We made a bunch of mistakes. A lot of the explosive runs that Wisner got, and even on the pass plays, we had them dead to rights and missed tackles that we usually don't miss. And a lot of that kind of just maybe seemed like guys is kind of pressing, trying to make the play just because of the way the game was going in the situation. But all in all is not lost, 5-1 taking on the chin. Hopefully we respond how Texas did. You can kind of tell that y'all's back was against the wall and y'all needed to have this one. Y'all had to have this one just because of where y'all's record is at and where it's sitting at, and there's really like no margin for error for both of us, but especially y'all coming up, right? You guys still got A&M, Vandy, and
we have
Georgia
Kentucky
on the schedule and
this week. Then we're
Mississippi
at
State
Kentucky,
after.
and then we go to Mississippi State, and then we have Vandy at home, and then we go to.
Then you get a bye.
Then we go to get a bye.
Right.
Then we go to Georgia, and then we got.
Then you got Arkansas
at home.
Yeah, Arkansas home. Then you go to or maybe Georgia. I don't know.
And then A&M.
I don't know. Yeah, I know A&M's last, but that's kind of how y'all schedule falls. So it's like you can't really lose again. Obviously, we need to get back on track starting this week, which we'll talk about in another episode. But yeah, man, it was a tough loss. This is a team I thought you know, the weird thing is, I before the season started, I thought we were going to win this game and then lose to South Carolina. You know, before I saw how they've been looking, and now it's kind of flipped. So, if you were to lose this one, I think this is the one that, you know, it sucks as a actual fan and like what the stigma is on Brent Venables and us not scoring 3 touchdowns in 4 of the last meetings and all these things. But there's always been something going on, and the timing of everything is just unfortunate. You know, I'm not going to make excuses because Mateer did play and he looked fine, but it just sucks. It's like, damn, what if he was, you know, what if he would have never broke his thumb and had to miss practice? You kind of think about those things and how it would have looked, and it would have been a little different. Because we still had a chance, even when we punted the ball, we still had a chance to win the game. Obviously, we weren't really moving the ball well, but we still had a chance to win the game. We were only down 1 touchdown. And that kind of, once that happened in the game, I was like, man, this shit's over. But yeah, man, I'm excited to see how we bounce back and how we respond. I think we have the team to respond well, and I think we have the quarterback to respond well, and I think everyone will be held accountable. And you know, the way Mateer was looking, you know, singing the alma mater song, walking off, it looked like he was on his hopefully on his Tim Tebow arc. You know what I'm saying? So hopefully he tears it up the rest of the year. I hope y'all keep winning. I'd love to get another chance at y'all. Hopefully,
I
an
don't think
SC
it's
championship.
possible.
It is if y'all win out.
Yeah,
Y'all only have 1 conference left.
Yeah, but that means,
And the teams are going to start losing, and we would have to win out, obviously, too.
yeah, but
Or
that
drop
means
1, maybe. But
Bama would have to lose 2. A&M
yeah,
would have
Bama
to
would have
lose
to.
2.
We would have to beat Bama, and
LSU
Tennessee
would have to
beat.
lose another one.
What all is possible?
That's possible.
You just see what
I
happens
just don't
where it
see
lays. Because
Alabama losing another one. If I'm being honest, they look good. I mean, we can get into Bama right now.
they do look good. I think they can lose. I think
They still look
can lose this
beatable,
week.
but
They can lose to us.
they still look
But
good.
the way they've handled their test, I mean,
Yes.
after Tennessee, they got us, and then they got I think they got LSU, but LSU ain't looking too good right now.
Yeah, hopefully this bye week or not that bye
and
week.
then obviously Auburn. You never know, but I mean,
Yeah.
yeah,
Hopefully,
we'll see. But
I mean, it just sucks because like when LSU's good, like the past years they've been like great offensively, right? And it's just
Yeah.
so fun to watch them play just because of how explosive that offense is. Like anybody can take one to the crib anytime. And I want to see that from them this year because
they have all the weapons.
they
too.
have the weapons to do it. They just got to get it together. And they're on the road, right?
Who?
LSU or they at home?
LSU this week?
Yeah.
They go to Vandy this week.
Ooh. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Mr. Pate's gonna be there.
Yeah, Pavia.
Yeah. So, but no, Bama look good, man. They look good. They Mizzou does look like a good team and heading in the right direction. And low key, if they keep playing like this, he might get poached. He's not getting
Maybe.
the best. He's not getting the best players, but look what he's doing. Especially in the SEC,
Yeah.
he's winning.
Yeah.
And
We'll see what it looks like for them soon because they're about to have to go on the road.
They
have not left yet.
But it doesn't matter if they lose. It's more of how they look. That's what I'm trying to get at is how they look. If they look to compete, just like Vandy, then obviously things are going in the right direction and the coaches are doing the correct things. You're gonna sit here and tell me that Missouri's gonna compete with Alabama and make it a game and make it come down to the wire and they win by 3 points? Like you tell me that like 4 or 5 years ago, everybody what are you talking about? You're gonna tell me that Vanderbilt beat Alabama and competes with them again and the score was closer than what it actually showed?
Yeah.
So yeah, they could get, especially with all these openings coming up. They could get poached. Apparently, another one's going to happen, win or lose Saturday. So we'll see. But it's looking good. But no, Alabama went on the road. Alabama went on the road. I said that really fast and mumbled, I'm sure. And they took care of business. That environment gets pretty electric there, and the fans get a little rowdy.
Yeah, they're renovating the stadium right now.
They're renovating the stadium. They're adding a bowl basically.
Mm-hmm. It looks good so far. Yeah, it looks good.
And it looked like Mizzou could like have the potential to win the game. They stopped Alabama. Well, no, Alabama goes and scores right first, and it was quick. I was like that. and then Mizzou gets the ball and they
Missouri
go.
scored first.
Oh yeah, Missouri scored first. It was quick. It was like that.
Yeah.
And then Alabama had the chance to Missouri had the chance to maybe get off the field, have been second down, but number 9 had a horrible penalty where he just got in the guy's face for whatever reason. It was like second and 15. Like you love the long fields. So, but game goes on and Alabama ends up winning. But Ty Simpson, man, what an incredible bounce back he's had from that first game. A lot of
the team really,
but he's playing on a different level. He's my current Heisman.
Yeah, I
favorite
agree.
Right now,
3 touchdowns this week, no picks.
He's reading the defenses really well. He protects the football. I don't know, everything about his play just looks like beautiful.
16-1 TD to pick ratio right now. He's balling out, and the tail of that game was turnovers. Perbula, he threw one. I think they fumbled. He threw one late in the game when they were trying to drive down the field. So that's kind of whatever.
Happened with Vanderbilt too.
Yeah, but they're playing well, man. Their defense is improving. The secondary looks really good. They're doing it really without getting Ryan Williams the ball a lot, because I think he's still been banged up and kind of battling some injuries, but they got other receivers stepping up.
Jam Miller
running back
out.
He got hurt.
Yeah, he got hurt.
And they just plugged in another freshman running back who looked the part. They're getting Caden Proctor the ball in the damn red zone. They're using him like a real weapon. I mean, it's the second week in a row they've used him creatively to move the ball. Yeah, this is a lineman. I mean, a dude, he's massive. He's like 360. He's humongous. That's the thing I was looking at Alabama's offensive line, and I was like, dude, they're humongous up front. I was like, damn. But yeah, man, they look good, man. Alabama looks good. Missouri, they fought well. Bama's looking good, man. They get through this week against Tennessee, which we'll preview later. They're going through their hardest test. You look at it. They beat Georgia in a game they had to have, and then they beat Vandy in a revenge game. And then they had an easy letdown spot. You're playing against a good Missouri team on the road after you just had 2 emotional wins. They take care of business there. So I want to give a shout out to Kalen DeBoer, because everybody was kind of talking crazy about him after, after the Florida State game. But hey, man, he's turning around. He's starting to find, you could tell they're starting to find their groove. And this is the thing we said about DeBoer. He's a good coach. He has a team around. He knows how to win, and he's getting it done. So I'm excited to see what they continue to look like. Hopefully they keep winning. We got to play them. I'd love for us and them to be both, pretty unscathed, maybe one loss going into that game in Tuscaloosa. So, but on to the next big game. Indiana, this was during our game. So I remember when we got out of the Cotton Bowl, we were like, oh shit, Indiana beat Oregon. They beat them by 10. Like, I went back and rewatched the game on Wheels, and the first thing that I saw rewatching that condensed game is, bro, Indiana is a fast team. They are a physical team, and they are well coached, and they look like they actually look like an elite national championship caliber team. Like, they really do. Like, it's not one of those fluky wins where you're just like, they just kind of got Oregon. Like, no, they look good. They kind of dominated the game, to be honest. The Oregon only scored 20 because they threw a pick 6 in that game, and then Indiana got the ball back and drove it right back down the field. So Oregon only scored 13 offensive points at home. And Oregon only scored 13 offensive points at home, and Indiana, moved the ball up and down the field. Mendoza's right up there with Ty Simpson right now for Heisman. The way he's playing, the way he's orchestrating that team, he's a lot better than I thought he would be. The dude is an upgrade from what they had last year, and they had a good QB last year. He's mobile. He can make all the throws. And, Oregon kind of got exposed a little bit defensively. I think they're all right. But, like we were saying, we'll get to Penn State. That win doesn't look as good as it did 5 or 15, 16 days ago, however long it was, that was a top 5 matchup, and it's a big time win on the road for Oregon. And then now we look what happened to Penn State since that loss. And then Oregon plays a team that they're way better than on paper. I think Indiana only has like 8% of their roster is blue chips. And the fact that they went in there and took care of business like that is very telling. And also just want to shout out Kirk Cinetti. everybody's kind of talking crazy about him last year, saying, Cinderella run, this and that. But dude, that
bounced
dude,
back and got better, man.
they got better, and that dude he's about business, man, and I commend him for it. And
Google me.
I like what
I
like what
win.
he's doing.
Google me.
I like what he's doing, man. I hope he obviously there's some coaching openings and stuff like that, but
I don't think he goes.
I don't think I think he is the type of guy that wants to prove that I'm different because I can win at Indiana when no one's ever won here. I think they're averaging like 4.1 wins a year for 30 years before he got there.
And he's not the same as Clark Lee because Clark Lee went there and played there, and he just wants to turn it around. But like, I don't think he would get poached either because he like hasn't done what he's wanted to do yet.
Yeah, turn it around, man. I mean, it's huge. And Dan Lanning, I think he's fine. It's a tough loss. I think Oregon will bounce back, but man, Indiana, they're impressive. They're ranked number 3 right now. They're right where they need to be. I mean, I think they're legit. They're one of the best teams in the country. So, and the rest of their schedule, they don't play a ranked team the rest of the year. So it looks like there's going to be a collision course with them in Ohio State for the Big Ten championship as of now. I mean, people can lose. That's why we play the games, but right now I don't see anybody left on the schedule. I mean, we maybe Penn State because they have the roster, but obviously, they're in turmoil right now. So on to Carlos's favorite guy, Georgia and Auburn. Georgia survived in advance, man. Kirby Smart
cheated.
Dude was calling a timeout running and then talked to the ref and said he was clapping. And it's clear as day he was calling a timeout. It's clear as day.
I'm pretty sure he says it too. Like you see him say timeout.
He even doubled down too. That fool said at the press conference, I was
clapping, yeah. I was saying clapping.
Full double down. But hey, man,
you gotta stick to your story, you know what I'm saying?
No, for sure. They got lucky though, because Jackson Arnold definitely scored and the ball came out, and then that was kind of the tale of the game because Auburn was shutting them down. I think Georgia only had like 2 rushing yards up until almost halftime. And Auburn, they were up 10-0. They score right there. It's 17-0.
Yep.
And, they're on the road. You get a team with that confidence. It also shows Hugh Freeze, self-destructs because you can't – I know it's unfortunate. You thought it should have been a touchdown, this and that. But, okay, worst case, they get the ball on the 1.
Well, it's not even –
you can't let –
it's not even that, though. It's just before the half, the game took like – there's 2 minutes left in the quarter before halftime. And the game took like damn near an hour to finish. I mean, the half took a damn near an hour to finish. Like from 2 minutes to halftime. You have 2 minutes to halftime, and it's like an hour to get there because of penalties. Because
of penalties, and they were reviewing like everything down the field. And Georgia took the ball from the 1, moved it all the way down the field, scored before halftime, and it's 10-7, and they end up winning the game. I think 20-10 or something like that was the final.
Shout out Gunner, man.
It's a tough loss for Auburn.
Shout out Gunner.
Yeah, shout out Gunner.
Get that off, man. That boy was taking some good licks, man, and he was just a warrior out there. He would get hit, just stand up and go right back at it, man. That boy's a warrior, man. He was getting hit pretty hard back there, and he never gave up.
In QBR right now.
He never gave up. Shout out Gunner.
Yeah, he's 3rd in QBR right now. I mean, didn't throw any touchdowns in the game, but I mean, moved the ball down the field, and Georgia was actually able to get their running game going pretty well, which in the second half, which kind of the tell sign, and their defense made adjustments and really shut down Auburn.
Yeah,
but
I've said this before, if you're not up big on Georgia in the second half, you're done. Like
they make
adjustments better than anybody in the country. Offensively and defensively, especially defensively. But if you're not up big on them at a half, it's your game might be over because they come out and they just light it up on both sides of the field.
It's almost like they like kind of play a certain way in the first half just to kind of get a gauge and then make those adjustments in the second half and really put their foot on teams. And like we say, winning is a skill. Like they've been good for a long time recently, and that program knows how to win. I know this isn't the dominant Georgia teams of the past, defensively and offensively, but they're still a very good team. Obviously, the gap has been definitely condensed a little bit, but with them and everyone else. But they're still a tough out. They're still super hard to play against, and they took care of business. Unfortunately for Jackson Arnold, I think Carl sent me a stat earlier in the week that he is like last in passer rating or QBR in the SEC, and he hasn't even thrown an interception. So that was kind of the issue that we had at Oklahoma, is he's got all the tools. He can run. He looks super fast when he takes off. He has an arm. He can make the throws, but it's like when it's time for him to actually make plays and stuff, it's kind of hard to rely on. And, right now Auburn's sitting at 3-3. This is a good Auburn team. Like their defense is pretty good. I mean, I think they're like top 10 in rushing defense. They're pretty solid. And you have obviously the skill players. So are they going to make a decision? Because, not Kirby Smart, Hugh Freeze just kicked off one of the captains off the team. And then you had all the Auburn locker room coming out and defending the guy and talking about him and, basically voicing like this was the wrong decision. He's not a bad player, this and that. And it sounded like he wanted a red shirt and maybe Hugh Freeze didn't agree with it. So what that told me once that decision was made is that Hugh Freeze basically turned in his resignation papers, because that right there tells me you made a decision that the locker room didn't agree with, especially a captain, and you're 3-3. We'll see what it looks like if they can continue to play for him and stuff. There's still opportunity for Auburn. I mean, they have 2 losses in conference. Or no, they have 3. Actually,
they're done.
Yeah, so it's like they're done. But
they're upset. They're upset team.
Yeah, they're a team that can ruin people's schedule, ruin people's season. Definitely got the talent to do so. But going into the Penn State meltdown. Listen, going into the Penn State. Shout out to them because we played them. They were ranked, so that's a ranked win on their resume. But going into the Penn State meltdown, man, 23-22. Northwestern goes into Happy Valley, gets it done. Drew Aller also gets hurt in this game. So Drew Aller, man, I mean, it's tough when they tell you that when you got a first round grade, that's why they tell you to go, because he had a first round grade last year, decided to come back, try to become the number 1 overall quarterback. His season hasn't been going the way we thought it would go, and now he's hurt. And now I think he played too many games. I don't know if he'll get a medical. But even like,
don't be doing that.
Hey, I'm just saying. I mean, it's a possibility. It's a possibility that he'd come back or something.
If you have to play a medical, that just tells you everything you need to know.
But hey, listen, the dude. Unfortunately for him, hopefully he gets drafted and is still a good NFL quarterback. But Penn State, 15 days ago or whatever it was, have Oregon on the ropes, take the lead in double overtime, end up losing that game. It's like, okay, James Franklin can't win the big game. It is what it is, right? But he does this. He'll lose these games. He'll still find a way, especially with the expanded playoff. I mean, last year he made it to the semifinals. So like, all right, as long as they get in, they're fine. They lose to UCLA. They're getting smacked, and then they end up coming back. Don't have enough, lose that game. Now they come back at home and lose to Northwestern, who is a team who has been historically not that good in the Big Ten. They're okay right now. They're like 4-2. But, I mean, you just can't lose those type of games when you're known to just win those games. You can't win the big games. So the fact that like you lost 3 in a row, sound like Penn State decided to make a decision. And I'm not too sure how I feel about the decision. Like you even said, you thought they would let him finish the year out. I mean, he's done so much for the program, kind of stabilized it, because I know Bill O'Brien came in right after Paterno was there for a couple years. And then James Franklin's been there over 10 years, won 1 Big Ten title, never made it to the playoffs, but made it last year. If me and Carlos would have told you, hey, a coach that made it to the semifinals last season gets fired the next year, you would be like, who and how? Like, how does that happen? But it happens. And that shows me that Penn State is fed up. They feel like they can get better and improve. But the sad part about it is, bro, like, if they don't get this hire right, this could be very detrimental to them. This could be like a 10-year problem if they don't get the hire right, because you had stability with James Franklin. You knew what he was. It did seem like he was regressing this year, especially because of the roster they brought back. But even then, it's like, if I would have faith that he could get it turned around next year to get back to where he was, because he's done it. I mean, he hasn't won a natty or anything, but he's been consistently a good coach. So now it's like, if you don't get this hire right, it could be a long time for them to recover. It really can. So we'll see, I guess.
Yeah,
I don't
man.
know.
It's a weird firing. They're in a weird spot, man. It's a lucrative job, but at the same time, with all these other jobs becoming open, but with all these jobs coming open, that's going to lead to other jobs being open from other big time programs. So what are you even going to progress?
Yeah.
I don't know, man. It's not good that you lose to UCLA and Northwestern back to back weeks, the two worst teams in the Big Ten probably. Um, so like I understand it, but I don't know. It's tough, man. I mean, what would you have done?
I mean, look,
Like, do you fire him?
I
Like,
think it's the
I don't.
I mean, the only reason you fire him is if you just feel like you know who you can get and you feel like you can get that guy.
Like
That's what I think.
it was so fast that they had to have somebody
Bro,
in mind already.
it was the next day.
Like somebody,
it was
they
nuts.
probably if that they probably had somebody in mind after the UCLA game.
Yeah, I would agree.
Because they're probably going if they probably were going to fire him at the end of the season, but then he lost that game. They're like, all right, bro, you're out of here. So they probably had somebody in mind after the UCLA game. But even then, if it is true that Billy is fired after Saturday, like that's another massive job. But then they're talking about Lane Kiffin taking it. Then that means Ole Miss is open. Like I don't know. There's gonna be a lot of jobs open that you might not. It might not have been the best time to fire him. Who knows?
Yeah,
Dabo could get fired too. Still.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, I just don't know. Like with firing, like the problem is with firing this coach early that the roster is still talented enough to where the interim head coach could like do something with it and win some games. They could easily win out. Like they got to play Ohio State, I think. No, they don't even play Ohio State this year.
I'm about to look up their schedule right now just to see something.
But the rosters, Drew Aller hurt or not, the roster is still good enough to win the rest of the games that they probably have on the schedule. I know they've lost their last two, but they still have probably the third or fourth most talented roster in the Big Ten.
I gotta go to Iowa this week, man.
That's a tough game. That's a tough game. Even if they hadn't lost these games, that's a tough game for them.
They do play Ohio State at Ohio State. Then they play Indiana, and then they play Nebraska.
Ooh, see, so like, what if they somehow just start beating some teams, right, with the interim head coach, and then you got the players there. They still support, because they fired James Franklin. They didn't fire everyone else on the staff. So there's going to be a lot of coaches currently there that if they can do some things, now you get into this dilemma where it's like, okay, we kind of got off to a bad start, but we finished the year strong. Now it's like, now you have like, do we lose the roster with, it's tough with NIL, like, because they could just pay the roster and the players don't care and they just bring in the right coach, or you might have people that are like strictly relationship driven and are like, I don't care how much I get paid. My coach that recruited me is gone. So I'm going to hit the portal and see if there's better opportunities. So it's like a tough thing because when you fire a coach in the middle of the season, I mean, look at UCLA, which we're about to get to. Like they fire their coach. Now they look completely different. They look like a team that could be undefeated if they had this, if they played like this.
Nico, man, he knew what he was going to, man.
So it's a tough situation. We'll just have to monitor this. There's a ton of candidates, which I guess we can kind of get into now. And so we don't have to talk about it on the other, but I mean, you got like we've seen Kirk Cinetti's name, Matt Rule, who he played at Penn State. He met his wife there. He's from Pennsylvania area. Nebraska's obviously doing good. Man. I don't think he leaves, but I'm telling you, he's gonna take that call. He's going to. I mean, I don't know what happens from it. I don't know if he takes it. No
matter where you're at, unless you're like at Alabama, Georgia,
Marcus
Texas.
Freeman, I've heard his name.
Yeah, like unless you're at
if you're at another school of that caliber, and I would say Nebraska traditionally is, but they're getting back to relevance. Like they're finally ranked again. They're 5-1. They still haven't, and maybe for Matt Rule, it's like, hey, I haven't accomplished what I wanted to do here.
Like the only person that takes that call that is doing well, in my opinion, at the program that he's at, not my opinion of doing well, but my opinion that you take the call. The only coach I can see taking the call and leaving at the current program he's in, because I think this is a better job, is Mike Elko.
Yeah,
Sure,
just
you
because
have
of
more
resources and
resources at
stuff.
A and
And you're
M,
in the and
but
you're in the
like,
SEC. Yeah.
but like, I could see him taking the call and taking the job.
No, I agree. I agree.
Everybody else that's winning, I can't. I don't think I don't think Sonetti's going. I don't think Clark Lee is going. I don't think Matt Rule's going. I don't think Lane Kiffin would
I
go.
think
I don't
they said
think
Marcus Freeman
I could see Marcus
as a
Freeman
candidate.
going, but you're kind of getting the same coach.
Yes and no. I mean, last year he did beat Kirby. He did go to the Natty. He beat James Franklin. So I see it as an upgrade.
Yeah, but beating James Franklin, what does that mean?
I mean,
You beat a
you got to still
Georgia.
get
You
it
beat a
done.
Georgia team that was a backup quarterback. Of course, your defense is
That's
going to
fair.
excel.
That's fair.
And then round one, they played Indiana, which this Indiana, last year's Indiana team isn't as good as this Indiana's team. Which there's, I mean, I think they're a way better team this year. I'll just say that because I think this team can actually go in and compete no matter where they're at. Last year's team, you're just like, all
Yeah.
right, just wait till they play somebody good. This year's team, they played somebody good, and look what happened. So I don't. I mean, I don't know. I feel like you're getting the same coach.
Yeah, like I said, I could see it, but
The
it's
only
also
other person I can see is fresh start Lincoln Riley.
yeah, but I think he's got USC on track now.
Yeah, I know, but like
The way that
he just gets a fresh start, like a fresh
I don't.
year.
Yeah, I just don't know how much of an. I think that's like the same job. I would probably lean USC as a better job right now, just because you have.
I don't know,
I just
man.
look at like
It's
recruiting
California ball.
recruiting
It's just
ground.
not
Like
it.
yeah, but you got like fertile recruiting ground. You're always going to have a ton of talent in the state. They're actually starting
Doesn't
to retain a lot
Pennsylvania
of
have
it.
the most Hall of Famers?
Yeah, but I mean,
There's clearly people
it's
there.
no Pennsylvania is a great talent bed, but I just like I think USC from like resources standpoint when they get good and they're actually like starting to roll, I think he's already been there so long. I just only like I feel like he would have to completely overhaul Penn State's roster to do what he wants to do. I mean, look, they can't even throw the ball still. I'm sure they could with him, obviously, but like, yeah, I think he would need some. I think the perfect fit for that job, unfortunately, is Matt Rule. We'll see if he takes it, but it just makes too much sense.
Yeah, I don't know.
You
It's
know,
weird
it
because
just
it's like
does.
when you see.
He's
I
built
mean,
programs
yeah,
up.
but y'all thought
He wouldn't really have to
y'all
build this
thought
program up. He could step right in.
y'all thought the coordinator going to Oklahoma was made too much sense because it was a perfect scenario with everything you just basically
Jim
said.
Knowles?
Yeah,
Yeah, but
and
even then, like
look what
it's
happened.
different though. He went to Penn State because he's from Pennsylvania. That's why he went. His wife was from Knowles' wife was from Oklahoma, but he was from Pennsylvania. And then Matt Rule, also from Pennsylvania, played there, met his wife there. The athletic director and him are like really good friends. The athletic director that's at Penn State now was the AD when he was at Temple together, when they were at Temple together.
Yeah.
So it's like there's just too many.
Yeah.
There's too many like dots that are connected that make too much sense for him not to go there.
Yeah.
We'll see.
I don't know, man.
It's just tough because it's like you're at Nebraska. You kind of built them back up. You have all the resources and support there. They have like probably the best facilities right now in college football. You know, they have all these things going for them. You know, but it's like, is it easier to recruit at Penn State or Nebraska? I don't know. Probably Penn State, but Nebraska seems to not have any issues now, especially if they're winning. Like, I mean, back in the day in the 90s when they were winning, they had everyone going there from Florida, from Texas, everywhere. Yeah. So I don't know. We'll see, bro. We'll see. We'll see.
We told you at the beginning of the year the season was going to be a great one. Here we are. We're going to fire left and right. Teams losing.
Left and right.
Man.
Left and right. And we're going to have a couple more. I mean, it's
inevitable.
It's inevitable. But going into real quick, UCLA, they keep rolling. They dominate Michigan State. Hey, man, if they can keep this momentum up, I feel like they found their staff. I know they've been talking about bringing in people and stuff, but to me, when you have a team that not only upsets Penn State, but takes it on the road and goes to Michigan State and blows them out, I think the team should just ride with that. You would have less turnover. You have Nico, who's going to probably stay in college next year, and you have a foundation to build around. And you're also in California. You're at UCLA. Like, if they can get some kind of like, look, they make a bowl, great season for them, especially with how they started. But if they can somehow win 7 or even 8 games, hey, you're looking at with that staff, you're looking at a team that could maybe build some momentum in the next year. And I think you would derail that bringing in another foundation of coaching, unless you just can get the right job or a candidate. Like, I'm not gonna lie, if I do think UCLA could give James Franklin a call, I wouldn't be opposed. I mean, yes, he obviously didn't do what he did he didn't win no natties at Penn State and all this, but James Franklin is a good coach. It might be a good decision for him to go to a program that doesn't have the expectations that he kind of set at Penn State or that were there. And you're in the Big Ten, you know the landscape, so it's not like that would be too difficult. I do think James Franklin chills for a year or so, but they've been saying he's trying to get back in coaching. And with these job openings, just because he got fired does not mean he's not going to get calls. Like, he's too good of a coach. He wasn't just like a 1-year wonder. Like, he had tenure there.
I don't know, man. It's just hard because you still got Gruden, you still got Coach O.
Yeah. You got a lot of people. I mean, Dan Mullen might get another opportunity. What he's doing at UNLV right now.
Got fired.
Oh, agreed. You know, so it's like,
how the hell did he get fired? But he's sticking around this long.
It's because he doesn't like recruiting, but he was winning. Yeah, I mean, you give Dan Mullen the roster that Billy has right now. Shit, Florida is a legit contender. Yeah. The way he coaches.
So in the first 4 games, UCLA scored 57 points.
God dang.
And the last 2 games, they scored 80.
Jeez.
Yeah. I think they just should, if they continue to win, which they kind of have a toughish schedule, they go at Indiana, versus Nebraska, at Ohio State. What if they beat Ohio State?
That would be wild. It's possible. It's not possible.
It's not possible. They play at Indiana versus Nebraska, at Ohio State, Washington, at USC. Like, in that order.
Hey, man. The way they look right now, shit, I would not be surprised. I mean, they look completely different. I mean, Nico looks like the 5-star he is. The system looks good. They're playing good offense, playing good defense. Yeah, like I said, I think if they keep winning, I think you just got to give those guys an opportunity. I think they would have earned it, especially with the situation they're put into. And because those guys, every day is a job interview for those guys. That's why they're performing the way they are.
Yeah.
But going into the last couple games real quick, Florida State lost to Pitt. You know, Florida State just looks lost. I mean, they haven't had any ACC wins in over a year. I sent Carlos a tweet that I think Norvell hasn't won an ACC game since he turned 40. He's 42 now, or 41, something like that. Look, Florida State, they had that crazy year where they went undefeated and didn't make the playoffs. And last year they have a horrible year, probably the worst year that I've ever seen in my lifetime, and Carlos has ever seen in his lifetime at Florida State. Then this year they beat Alabama. Like, okay, they might be back. Start off hot, start off good. You know, lose to Virginia on a weird weeknight game. Lose to Miami, which is like we kind of saw it coming. And then they play a good Pitt team because Pitt ain't no slouch. They're decent. And then you lose to Pitt, who just started a QB for the first time. Yeah, it's not looking good.
I'm chatting GPT and something real quick.
Okay.
You can go ahead.
Keep going,
yeah, you can go ahead.
It's not looking good. Florida. Well, the problem is Florida, the state of Florida. You have USF, who's their head coach, might not be there after this year. Then you have Florida, who's going to probably have a job opening. And then you have Miami, who is looking dominant. So if Florida fires their coach and you're Florida State and you don't feel good about your situation, it's like, are you going to just do the same thing? or are you going to kind of just try to maintain the stability? Because if the Florida State and Florida job becomes opening, they're both very appealing. They both have a ton of resources. Now it just comes down to where you want to be. You go take an ACC job and look, I just got to beat Miami and, Clemson every year. Or do I got to go to the SEC and go to Florida and then deal with all this, all the nonsense in the SEC? So like as an administration, you can look at it that way. It's like, hey, if we fire Norvell, how is our job at the top of the list? I think if Florida State fires I think if Florida State and Florida fire, I think those jobs go to the very top. I think Penn State is I think Penn State's like a 2A, 2B. Like if Florida State was open, I think Penn State and Florida State are kind of similar, but I think Florida is probably like the most appealing job when that comes open. Only just due to their resources in the SEC. But the problem is Florida they don't be getting people the time of day, man. There. So that's kind of the issue there. But yeah, man, what do you think about all that?
Win.
Just win?
Win. I mean, it's that simple. So I was chat GPT, but you're talking about Florida State. I heard you say Florida as well.
Yeah, both, because I think Florida's coming open, and I think Florida State there's a very, very good chance it comes open.
What I chat GPT'd was, what is Mike Norvell's record without Jordan Travis as a quarterback?
Yeah.
He is 7-21.
Damn, really?
7-21 without him at quarterback.
That's crazy. That's actually insane.
So you tell me if they should keep him or not.
It's not looking good. It looks like that year was this. I mean, they had Keon Coleman.
I mean, yeah, had everybody.
They had
the defense
two
was
first-round
insane.
defensive line.
Yeah, 7-21 without him, and you're in the state of Florida, and I think you're kind of mentioning this. I'm not too sure, but you're in the state of Florida where you have athletes in your backyard. No matter what city you go to, there's just athletes on athletes on athletes. So you have the ability to be able to recruit these guys and still be successful.
Yeah, because you're at a flagship school, and the problem is Miami is looking head and shoulders above both programs, and then you have Oklahoma, Texas, and then all the other SEC
and
schools.
It's weird,
and then
man, because
Ohio State's all just taking the top talent
they
out of Florida.
Rotate, man. It's like Miami had their spot, their shine, and then they dropped down. Then Florida had their shine, and then they dropped down. And if FSU had their shine, and they dropped down, now Miami's having their shine, and like it's weird. They all just can't be consistently good.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think
it's tough.
Hey, man. I mean, I think you beating Alabama has like saved you a little bit, but I think
it saved you, but then it also hurt
you because you had these expectations set on you.
That, and it's like, I mean, the way Alabama looks, it's like if they played again, that wouldn't happen, I don't think. And then also it's like
not.
It's also like it's a week one game too. Like I know like everyone kind of overreacts to week one, but it's also like, hey, it's week one for a reason. Teams get better, teams get worse. And Florida State has clearly got worse. And who they play this week?
Florida State?
Yeah.
They placed if they lose this game, I don't know what to tell you. But they play Stanford.
Yeah, if they lose this game, he's history. He is where is it? Is it there?
It's at Stanford.
Ooh,
traveling across the globe.
Hey, they might lose. I'm not gonna lie.
But
because Stanford's looked
the
improved.
other thing that also kind of helps you, not really, because you still lost, is Virginia is ranked 18th and they keep winning, and you took them to overtime. So I guess you kind of have that. And
you lost to them. You lost to Miami.
Yeah.
Pitt could easily be ranked this year. They're solid. I could see them getting into the top 25 at some point. I mean, they should have never lost to West Virginia, but that's another story. But
and Louisville.
Yeah. Hey, Louisville and Miami this week. That's a little spooky.
Yeah.
It's a little spooky. It's on a Friday night. Hey,
Louisville's 4-0. No,
they lost to Virginia.
Oh,
Louisville did.
30-27.
An OT.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh
But
yeah, because never mind. You don't get into that stupid over. Man.
but last segment,
Bro, it's at
go ahead.
Miami.
Oh man,
They still haven't. When did they leave?
they haven't left the state yet. They're
Bro,
like
they
Missouri.
play Louisville at home, and then they play Stanford at home. They don't leave.
Bro,
One,
what?
two,
When do
three,
they leave? They
four,
haven't left. When do they leave the
5,
state of Florida?
6, 7, 8. It take them 8 games. The 8th game is when they play SMU.
We'll see how they look on the road. I mean, obviously they beat Florida State, but like it's in the same state, so it's like, and Miami fans are gonna travel. Like, yeah, it's tough. It's tough. That's tough.
8 games. All right.
That's tough. But last game that kind of happened that we got to touch over is USC Michigan. Man, USC looked pretty good, man. They looked dominant. You know, they ran the ball for 224 rushing yards, which is crazy that they were able to run the ball on Michigan that well. But the thing is, people don't know about is Lincoln Riley loves running the football. He's like a Sarkisian. He's like all these offensive gurus to where that is like really their foundation of their game. And then everything kind of builds off of that. And they make plays off of that. And, you know, it's showing Lincoln Riley can kind of adjust. Because, I mean, after that Illinois loss, I was like, ooh, you know, I know Illinois kind of needed that game. But, like, Illinois kind of punched them in the mouth, did whatever they wanted to. USC's offense has never been really an issue. But the fact that USC was actually able to take this type of fight to a Michigan team, which if Jerome Moore keeps losing, he might be on it too. I wouldn't do it just because he's, you know, first year true freshman starter. Yeah. He's also a big foundational culture piece of Michigan and how they got good. Again, he was an OC.
He's recruited all
years too. And he coached 2 games the year they won the Natty because Harbaugh got in trouble or whatever. But like one of those was beaten.
They're in a rebuild year. They have no wide receivers.
Yeah.
The quarterback's a true freshman. The defense
they're
isn't
in a
as
rebuild
good
year last year.
Yeah, but I think they're more. I mean, they kind of seem more in one this year than this year. Yeah. It's like kind of flipped because their defense isn't as good as it was last year, but their offense is better this year than it was last year.
Mm-hmm.
So
100%.
I think it kind of just flipped, but I wouldn't fire him. Not this early. He's only been 2 seasons.
On what it looks like. Yeah, it just depends on what it looks like because they got a tough one this week playing Washington. A big Washington fan over here. I like Demond Williams.
I'm assuming, you know, as a degenerate man himself, you bet on the UTEP Sam Houston game. That score is currently 14-10 at halftime.
I actually did not this week because last time I bet on some wins, some midweeks.
Hey, what, man?
Boy, Jesus! So I had to chill out for a little bit. I'm trying to. It's gonna be the week I hit a lotto. Fingers crossed on all. You know what I'm saying? Use a code, use Cam Juice on Dabble. This ain't chips and slips, but hey, I'm promoting self-promotion. But yeah, man, I mean USC just looked good and they impressed me. They did. They impressed me. They look good on offense, they look good on defense. Sucks for Michigan. That game Bryce Underwood made some plays, made it a little closer than what it looked like, but it really wasn't at that close. This is a humongous win for USC. I thought it was for what they were trying to accomplish for both teams. I thought it was kind of a must-win spot for both teams, and USC prevailed. They're going to obviously go play Notre Dame this week, which we're going to touch on in our 54 Yards podcast. But like I said, me and Carlos were kind of just off we were tired, drained from the Cotton Bowl. We had kind of all these games on. We were kind of just like, we're kind of watching, but we weren't actively watching. So this week we'll be more locked in and dialed on all the games. But yeah, it was a great weekend. I mean,
absolutely.
Hella people lost. Carlos got a win. We got our first loss on the season. Shit still stings. I'm ready to get this taste in my mouth so people can stop parading this win and we can get back on track and the OU fan base can stop crashing out. I think we're fine. I think we're going to be fine. I think Mateer played the worst game he's, I'm not going to say ever played, but the worst game he has ever played so far in college. And I just don't see that really happening with him getting, full week of practice and knowing how capable he is.
Yeah, man. I'm just waiting for that Beamer ball, man.
Oh my God.
You can't hate. Hold on. You can't hate, man. Hey.
My mom went to South Carolina. Look, I like South Carolina every week, but this week So,
But you also like Beamer.
I do like Beamer. Yeah.
That's because Mr. Pate would say Cocktober.
Hey, they were saying
Cocktober, yes sir.
Yeah, Cocktober. South Carolina's 5-12 in Cocktober. Someone grokked him. They were like they were like now in November they're 14-3 is what someone said. But yeah, man, somebody said real quick before we take a little intermission, but somebody said today that Beamer, because listen, so I was listening to a podcast, listening to Oklahoma Breakdown, shout out Teddy and Gabe, and they get a guy on from the college that we're playing every week to kind of like just have them on the podcast. And this dude from South Carolina that they had on was saying that people are like kind of frustrated with Beamer, but like their expectations are like so high at South Carolina when really they weren't ever good besides the Spurrier years. And they were saying, for instance, I think South Carolina's only ever had 11 5-stars in the history of the program. And right now they have 3 currently on the roster. So they were like, dude, they don't want to like, because, it might be a tough year for them. It might, they might, they're already 3-3, if they don't do too well, they have these expectations, but people are like, we try to push him out and he's kind of has South Carolina at a level that's consistent, kind of what you can expect from the program. They're like, hey, that Virginia Tech job might look more and more appealing to him, where he's appreciated and his dad was there, and Virginia Tech's kind of desperate to get back to that. So they were like, hey, that might be just something to keep an eye out on. I don't know. I'm not saying that's going to happen, but
yeah, I think he's the perfect coach for that college, and
I would love for him to stay at South Carolina. Like, it's a hard place to win at.
if he got fired, I don't know what Lenoris is a sophomore, right? If he got fired,
he's a junior, sophomore, redshirt.
If he got fired, that quarterback's going with him. If he wanted to play another year of college, which I think he should.
Lenoris needs to stay.
Yeah, but if
he needs to stay,
but if he got fired this season, he is taking Lenoris with him. So if y'all want 100%. That, go ahead.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, Lenoris needs to stay, man. I think all these QBs need to stay. I'm not mad at it. Like, people are like, oh, like Mateer stays, Hawkins leaves. I'm like, look, that's just the name of the game. That's the business. We recruit well enough at quarterback. I think Mateer would benefit massively from another year, unless he just goes scorched earth the rest of the year against the competition we have and make a playoff run. And your stock's high. I'm not going to tell the kid not to go. Like, he should, if that's the case. But I mean, we see it with Arch. We saw Arch this week against Oklahoma. Like, these guys, you can continue to get better and better, and they need to play football, because a lot of these QBs that are going into the NFL that didn't play a lot of football are already like Anthony Richardson. There's no coming back. Like, he might get traded. He might get some kind of Trey Lance type of opportunity, but I mean, he's not winning that job back ever again in Indianapolis. It's over.
Come on, baby.
Daniel Jones is balling. I mean, they're what, 5-1 right now.
Yes,
so
sir. Hey.
Yeah, culture good. So, but yeah, man, that's another episode of the morning after. Sorry, we got it a little late out to you guys. We've been we travel to when we travel to these games, man. Maybe one day when we're doing this, full time, man. Have a mobile setup. Me and Carlos can hit some podcasts in the hotel room.
I'll tell you this much: every Monday, whenever I go to these games, Monday will be taken off for sure.
Yeah, I need to take it off. I didn't take it off this year. Thank God I work from home.
Exhausted. I was exhausted.
I know you didn't even go to Joe T's, but we weren't even there that long though. We left at like 8.
And that 12 hours just in the sun is just
it's long.
Yeah, it's a lot.
I told you, man, drink that Pedialyte, hydrate, get right. You know what I'm saying?
All right, man.
But yeah, that'll do it. Make sure you guys like, comment, subscribe. We just hit over 1K, so now we need the watch time. So make sure y'all watching these pods. Run it up for the boys.
Yes,
we'll see you guys on 54 yards.
Okay.
Peace.